SVG's Jason Dachman here, and it's the PWHL Finals, the first ever PWHL Finals. We're super excited to, not only have some great hockey, but for the fact that it's gone to Game 5, which is going to take place tonight in Boston at the Tsongas Center. We're, talking today not just about the production and the overall cool factor of the PWHL, and the finals. But one of the more unique aspects is the fact that there's a live drone right in the action for a couple of these games. So we're really excited to have Bill Stafford over at Raycom Sports joining us. They are in charge of producing all the PWHL games that took place in the U.S. this year, and will be handling Game 5 tonight, as well as Michael Welsh over at Sky Candy Studios. All things drone over at Sky Candy. You guys have been around the block more than a few times when it comes to live drone production for sports. Gentlemen, first of all, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Hello.
Cool. So, Bill, why don't we start with you? Tell me a little bit about how this came about. Of course, I know that if you want to read our story on sportsvideo.org, just search PWHL. You guys, along with Dome Productions, along with the league and some other partners, built a league and a broadcast infrastructure in like no time to get this started on January 1st. And then during the playoffs, certainly looking to up your game when it came to live production tools and that broadcast quality. How did the drone come into this? How did you guys start looking at it, and what do you think it brought to the program?
Well, I tell you, working with the PWHL has been good. And Jeremy Langer and Amy Shear, they've allowed us to sort of, hey, get the basics right, do core things, make sure the coverage is good, the right angles. And then as the season progressed and, viewership has gone up and everything is sort of having these strides and these leaps, we're sort of like, hey, what can we add to increase the broadcast quality? Like what enhancements or sprinkles can we put in? So we, we've done some things like a super mo, and we've added a robo here and there. Worked with Movicom for the ref cam, which is some great angles. And then, we get the first round here in Boston for playoffs, and it's like, all right, what can we do cool now? And then I was like, drone would be good. And then actually I saw something about Sky Candy in SVG, and I was like, let me call Mike. Let's see what we can do here. So we gave a call and said, hey, and then we had to work with the venues, right? Like the venues have to be on board with allowing the drone and all that. But on our side, the PWHL has been great because they're like, yeah, we're not afraid to try and do some fun stuff and cool stuff, and explain it to us. So when we explained it to Jeremy and everybody, hey, this is our concept, this is how we want to do the drone and use it sparingly. Get the reaction shots, get all that, but then also flirt with some over action. And we're like, let's do it. Let's build slowly and get comfortable. And by the third period, we were very comfortable. And, the Sky Candy group was doing well. We had a goal, the replay from that and right out and over top of the players, and, seeing the goalies as they're coming out and the drones right there over the ice, seeing the face off live from the drone right over top it's pretty cool. It's entertaining and it's exciting.
Yeah, no question. The footage has been very unique so far. And Mike, as I mentioned, you guys have obviously plenty of experience. This is your bread and butter. It's what you do every day. But this is a unique show. Can you tell us a little bit about what you guys have done on the ice in terms of hockey coverage in the past, and how you sort of came into this project, and what is unique about this one, especially when it comes to access?
Yeah, we recently worked with the NHL and the Rangers at MSG to fly live during intermissions, and filming that content was just the first of its kind because typically drone shots are over the stadiums and not over the crowds, and so being able to create a drone that's small enough and safe enough for flying a 100-gram drone, and so it's tiny. And getting these crowd shots, they're really surreal because you're seeing fans close up. You're being able to zip around, fly through tight spaces for a live broadcast, and it's never really been done before. So when Bill reached out, I was super excited because basically the PWHL wanted to take it to the next level and, actually fly during the game, and capture, reaction shots to goals. And the footage has been absolutely insane, because you're capturing it live, but then you're also capturing it to an SD card in 4K. And it's footage that will live on forever, and you can use that for highlight stuff down the road. And it really is just getting innovative shots.
Yeah,
It's gold.
I mean, it's a great point that yes, the live coverage is amazing. Having it integrated into the broadcast, so cool. The cool factor off the charts, but you have this archive footage that you can use for everything. I'm sure it's going to make its way into whatever the year end, it used to be the year end DVD. Now it's just the year end sizzle. But, I'm sure it's going to make its way all over the place. So very cool to have that footage. Mike, where does this kind of rank in terms of access in your experience for live game action, be it hockey or any other sport?
Yeah, I mean, besides the ultimate frisbee stuff we shot like 5 years ago, this is for professional sports. I mean, this is the best access I think we've ever had, and it's a great example to show other leagues as well, to say, hey, this is what's possible. And so it's awesome that PWHL is willing to innovate and try these things out, because the drones aren't going anywhere, and they're going to be capturing drones, and capturing more and more of these games. And it's just a level of getting people to trust them more in terms of safety, and then seeing what's actually possible.
Sure. Bill, going back to you, what are some of the coolest things that you've seen thus far in terms of the drone shots? What do you think it's added to the broadcast? And what I've been curious about, how has the production team, especially the front bench, reacted to having a tool like this that isn't necessarily part of a traditional broadcast?
Well, I tell you, it's that you brought up some good stuff there. Is the front bench? So we've got Jeff and Will be directing and producing the game, and they also were the producer and director for the first game we used it. And covering hockey, they're very traditional, I feel, in like, got to have the right replays, got to have the angles. So using it was more fluff. But then after we captured that first goal, and we had the replay, and then you're following the players as they're doing handshakes down the benches, it was like, okay, now there's the potential of doing it. And it was like, hey, so how can we get it? So there's been some timing, right? Like, you have to have the drone on the right side of the venue that is on the same side as your broadcast camera, so everything looks side to side the right way. Well, then you're also flying in front of your cameras. I mean, your cameras are up and your drone's flying, so they're sort of like, hey, we see the drone in the shot. I'm like, okay, but that's okay. Everybody knows there's a drone. Don't worry about that anymore. Let's keep moving. And they've been great to adapt to it. We've had meetings today already about how we're going to integrate and use the drone. Obviously, we're really excited about that there will be a trophy handed off today. So that trophy and them around the ice is going to be great. But that opening face-off, or a possible replay, and the reactions and the crowds, the Tsongas Center is sold out for the game, right? Like, perfect. And I can't say enough about the Tsongas Center. They've been great to work with, and it's their venue, and saying, okay, we're open to this. We've got a great partner in PWHL. Everybody at PWHL is on board. The referees know. We showed the players the drone and said, here, hold this. This is what's going to be. And the women are like, all right, because they know it's something that no other league has, and they're getting it. And that's a good part. It's women's sports here to stay, and we have to cover them in a way that we would cover anything else. And now they're getting a taste of stuff that other leagues don't have. So that's some of the feedback I've been getting, and it's special. But Will and Jeff are going to use it wisely. That's
Cool.
for sure.
Yeah, it's great to have the players on board. No question about it. That's a huge part, especially I know that's a big philosophy of the PWHL is creating a player first experience. So, Mike, from a logistical perspective, can you get into some of the details? What does battery life look like for you guys? You mentioned it is a very lightweight drone. So I'm sure, you guys are turning it around pretty quickly. Safety regulations, Tsongas Center, again, sounds like they've been a great partner, but you always have to, of course, make sure your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed. what are some of those logistical and operational things that you guys are dealing with?
Yeah, like you said, 4 minutes of flight time makes it a little tough because you're not just hovering, waiting for something exciting to happen. We basically a lot of times have the drone plugged in but not flying and not wasting battery, and then you also need to cool down the unit. So we're gonna have a fan on the unit cooling it down as it's sitting there, and then basically if there's a goal or something exciting happens, we launch and capture. So those are some of the hurdles we're figuring out. In game one we learned a lot. We're like, if we want to capture stuff, you have to be ready to go.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of again, safety, this is a lightweight drone. God forbid something happens, we're not talking about a massive thing that's going to be falling on people necessarily. You guys have come a long way in terms of the safety over live crowds, right?
Yeah, the drones have gotten smaller, and the broadcast module has gotten incredibly small. So this drone is, I'll send you a bunch of video that you can use for this, and you'll see it. It's unbelievable, the size of this thing. So once lawyers and leagues and venues get this in their hand, it changes the game, because people have heard drone for so long, and it's open propeller. It seems dangerous, but once you hold this thing, it's different. It's very, very safe.
On that lines, once we showed it to the league and the players and everybody, are like, oh, okay, we get this. It makes sense. I'm sitting here in the Tsongas Center. We're actually getting stuff set up right now, so I'm down on the bench. And one of the cool things is, once you show everybody what it is, okay, in women's hockey, they have full face masks. So that actually adds this layer of, I'm okay. I got my helmet, I've got gloves, I've got pads. So the players are well protected to begin with. So that's very helpful. But to go back on something that Michael was saying, was learning the game and learning, like, okay, after the 14th minute, we're in a commercial break. So get the drone up, because if there's a whistle, we're going to commercial. You can have that shot over the ice and have something. If you're in the one zone and it's a power play, get the drone up for the 2 minutes of the power play, because your scoring chances are better. So you're up flying when that can happen, right? So it's learning the game, learning, okay, I should be up and running for live action now. Let's settle down and recharge batteries, change out batteries, whatever it is at this time. And then, again, at the end of the game, when the clock's counting down with 1 minute to go, have your drone up and running, because you want the gloves thrown and all that stuff, which we should think about, Mike. We don't want the drone to get hit by a glove when they throw them up in the air.
That's a good point, but
it'd be a great shot, though.
Right? Yeah, it's going to be an amazing moment, no matter what. And you guys will have that drone to be able to cover the first ever championship moment of the PWHL. Guys, thanks so much for joining us today. Really appreciate it. Super excited to see the broadcast this evening. For anybody that doesn't know, Bill, how can everybody watch, depending on if they're in the US or Canada or elsewhere?
Yeah, Canada's TSN's broadcasting the games there. Here you've got Nesson will have the game. I think one of the Bally's will have it. I think maybe MSG might have it. I know they carried the other ones. And then all the games are live on YouTube as well. So PWHL, and you'll see it, it'll pop it up, and it's a great chat. If you want to see some fans interact, watch the YouTube, and the chat is really cool as a second screen, just to see what the fans are saying. But huge numbers the last game, and it went into double overtime. So we're excited about tonight. It's gonna be fun.
Well, it's been an amazing season. This will be a nice little crescendo. Make sure to check it out and keep an eye out for the drone shots. Bill Stafford, Michael Welsh, really appreciate your time, and great luck. Break a leg tonight.
Thank you. Take care.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Thanks, Jason.
Bye.